What is up, everybody? Welcome to a new episode of Ray Loves Movies. My name is Ray Taylor. This is my second attempt at recording a review for The Phantom Thread, the new movie by Paul Thomas Anderson, out last year, limited release, kind of getting a little bit wider release, nominated for Academy Award. Paul Thomas Anderson, I think the last movie he did was Inherent Vice. But he's done movies like The Master, Boogie Nights, There Will Be Blood, uh, Magnolia, Punch Drunk Love. Great director. Um, yeah, so I did a whole review of this movie already, and then I went to go turn everything off, and I realized that I was not recording any audio. Just recorded a video only version of my review, which does nobody any good. So Phantom Thread was a movie that I finally got to see. It was released at the kind of the theater that gets the independent movies more so. Like they had Call Me by Your Name, which I have not seen yet. I don't know. I don't know if I want to see it. Maybe I'll go see it. Uh, but I mean, it's nominated, so maybe I'll go see it. But that's where they got it there. So I ended up going to see it the other day and finally getting a chance to review it. I am a fan of Paul Thomas Anderson for the most part. Inherent Vice was okay. It wasn't like it's probably one of my least favorite. I mean, I really enjoy all of his movies, so it's kind of hard to even put him in order. But for whatever reason, that one didn't really stick. The Master wasn't really whatever. There Will Be Blood was probably the last one that he did that I really enjoyed. And in this one, coming back for another Paul Thomas Anderson for what he says is his last role. I believe. I don't think he's doing Daniel Day-Lewis. I don't think he's doing another movie after this one. But Phantom Thread, let me read the synopsis here. Set in 1950s London, Reynolds Woodcock is a renowned dressmaker whose fastidious life is disrupted by a young, strong-willed woman, Alma, who becomes his muse and lover. So it is very much a minimalist kind of, especially compared to his other movies that have a lot of things going on. This is very much a very minimalist movie. You have the main character, Reynolds. You have his old so and so, which apparently is his sister. I wasn't sure. It was kind of ambiguous, their relationship in the movie, because I thought maybe she was his wife and like they had an arrangement where he's allowed to kind of be inspired sexually by his models and muses. Um, but yeah, it's like because he's so Daniel Day Lewis is such a good actor and like method and probably learned I would imagine he's giving a very accurate performance as to what a dressmaker or if this person even existed like like how they would be. It's very interesting because it's like he's very compartmentalized. Everything that he does is like done in a certain way, and he has this very much of a routine. So he can he's always sketching in his sketchbook, and it kind of goes through him developing this new line of clothing and kind of releasing it, and kind of getting that postpartum depression that some artists get when they finish a project and then they have the kind of feeling of like, what now? Will I ever create anything again? Um, and then there's the lead character, Alma. So there's Alma, Reynolds, and then his sister, which he keeps calling old so and so. And I really loved the acting in it. The writing is so the least amount of words necessary, the least amount of it was very much they stripped away all the bullshit and it's just the bare minimum of what you need to tell the story. And because of that, they it's so well done. It's so well done. I was disappointed when I first saw it because I don't know, I was watching it and like I didn't really like where it went, like how it ends. I was kind of disappointed with how it ends, and just what the movie ended up being about was kind of like, I mean, it's good in that it's like, okay, it's gonna be, it's playing on like a broader theme of something. Like it's not a literal like, oh, he's in a competition to make the best dress, or he lost his swagger, now he's got to get it back. It could have been like a cheesy, hacky premise for what happens, and it's very much like a love story where she ends up. I mean, there's different ways to read it. There's the way where, you know, spoilers. So she ends up in retaliation for him being an asshole in his like, and trying to get rid of her. So he finds her. Let me go into it a little bit before I spoil it. So he finds her. She's a waitress at a restaurant. He gets infatuated with her, and then he brings her home, and then he dresses her, basically takes her measurements, and she's all into it because she knows he's a famous, well-known fashion guy. I don't know what the fashion designer, and so she's taken back that he's like into her being part of the process, and she becomes like kind of his muse for this new collection that he's doing. She's inspiring all these new designs and things that he's coming up with. And after, like, leading up to, or is it after? Let's see, when does it happen? So after his thing, he gets really depressed. He releases a new series of work, and he goes, he has the high of that, and then he has the low of releasing the new work. And then I believe, like, reflecting on the movie, I appreciate a lot more and like it a lot more, especially from like an artistic point of view, from like somebody who creates. So I kind of understand it. I just, how they execute it or how it unfolds, I kind of left me wanting different or more or something. Um, but he wants to get rid of her, and he's being an asshole, and she's like, he's starting to do, after he releases this new series of dresses and things like that, does his fashion show. He's doing a commission work for somebody that he's designed dresses for her whole life, and she's getting married, so he's doing the wedding dress, and he's being like an asshole because he's pretty much done with her, because that series of work, from reflecting back on it, it seems like he finished that series of work. She's no longer needed because that she's like, he wants to move on to somebody else to inspire the new series of work. And in between, he's doing these commission works, and so he wants to get rid of her, and he's fucking doesn't know how to do it. So he's passive aggressive. He's trying to get his sister to get rid of her and all this kind of shit. So she ends up, spoilers, she's Alma, pissed off. She's like, fuck you, and she ends up poisoning him, because there's a scene that kind of sets it up where they're picking mushrooms. It's like, you got to make sure you check the book to see which ones are edible, which ones aren't. So she finds a mushroom, she grinds it up, she puts it in his tea. It's not a lot. He gets sick, and it's like, you know, he, pulls through it, and then like they kind of go back to, he doesn't get rid of her, he keeps her around. They form this new connection or whatever. There's a fly buzzing around and is annoying the fuck out of me. Uh so he keeps her around as more of this caretaker kind of a person now, instead of being the muse or whatever. And then later, like, he wants to he's done again, and he wants to get rid of her. And then she sees that she does the thing again, that she actually made like eggs, like an omelet with these mushrooms, and gave him a lot more. And it's like, he ended up being fine with it. It was like he was getting off on it. And so it's like, which I was like, what? Like, so maybe he's into it. Like, he's so in control all of his life that like, this is his way to let go, like a CEO going to a dominatrix, because he's like got so much power and like controls so many people's, fortunes, that, when to relax, he has to get beaten the fuck out of to kind of be on the receiving end. So maybe that's it. Or maybe it's like they're psychedelic mushrooms, and it was like more of an ayahuasca experience where he was getting sick but tripping out, and maybe that became his muse. They never really go into it. It kind of just ends with him getting sick again, and pulling through it, and like and then that's like their new, like that's where their relationship evolved to, was to this like weird, like, I mean, she poisoned him twice. Um, so I don't know. I didn't really like the ending. Like looking back, I love the film. It was a beautiful film. It was just like it's paced like a Paul Thomas Anderson. I just didn't know what the fuck was going on. Like I didn't know where these stories were going. Like, and I guess I'm curious to hear other people's reviews and discussions on it to maybe get some other theories and explanations or people's ideas of what things meant and why things were what they were or whatever. But I, as far as like best picture, I could see it easily getting nominated. I mean, winning best picture, or Daniel Day-Lewis for best actor. I don't think the performances from the actresses were necessarily, I mean, they were all good, but I don't think they were like, that next level. I still think like Frances McDormand should win for Three Billboards. I think Three Billboards is still way better than this. I don't know where this would, since it did come out in 2017. I don't know exactly where I would put it in. I don't even know if it would be on my top 10 list. Like I don't think Dunkirk was, and I like Dunkirk more than I like this movie. Even though this movie was like top to bottom, it was like it was almost like, I would almost say a masterpiece, except for like the story. I didn't get it. Unless, maybe he was intending, maybe I missed something that was like, that explains why he gets off on, like, all of a sudden, like there's this turn, like the twist is that he likes to get poisoned. I don't know. I don't know. Kind of it left me a little confused, a little disappointed. Um but overall, great performance from Daniel Day-Lewis. Whether he acts again or not, I don't really give a shit. He's great at it. So, you know, I wouldn't mind seeing him in another movie. But another great film from Paul Thomas, P.T. Anderson, right? PTA, right? Is that it? Anyway, that's my review. If you have a movie that you want me to go watch and then review, I might be watching a movie here. I'm at the theater right now. See what showtimes. I might go see Molly's Game or All the Money in the World or something like that. But if you have a movie that you want me to review, let me know. I might try and get all of the Academy Award movies reviewed. There's only a few that I haven't seen. Call Me by Your Name, The Post. See, All the Money in the World, I think. Was that nominated? I don't think it was. Post, that one, Call Me by Your Name, and then I think there was one more movie. The Darkest Hour. Which I don't really give a shit to watch that. But maybe I will. So yeah. But if there's something else, hit me up on Twitter at Ray Taylor. If you want to check out my artwork that I release daily, part of the Many Faces, an abstract portrait series, ongoing series. I will be releasing number 300 very soon. By the time this comes out, 300 might be out. So I'll have done 300 of them, and I'm going to keep going, releasing a new one of those every day on my Instagram page, as well as any Photoshops that I do. You can check those out on at Ray Taylor on Instagram. And to purchase my artwork, if you want, or if you want links to subscribe to everything that I do, you can go over to inspireddisorder.com. It's where you can purchase my artwork. There's links to subscribe to this show, the early retirement vlog. You can go check out old episodes of the Inspired Disorder podcast, Ultimate Movie podcast, Ultimate Movie Championship. I'm sorry. Yeah. So go check that out. Actually, yeah, go check out the Ultimate Movie Championship on iTunes. It's a segment from the Inspired Disorder podcast. Start from number 1 and go along, because that's Keith and I building our top movie list at flickchart.com/IDP. Yeah, so go check that out if you want, if you're into movies. And if you want to donate to me, donate to the show, how I go pay for all these movies is with MoviePass, and that is paid for by the good people that have donated to my Patreon page, patreon.com/inspireddisorder. All I ask is you donate $1 a month. That's $12 a year. You're not going to see it. You can always donate more if you want, but donate $1 a month. The more you donate, the more it helps out. I would really appreciate it. But go over there and donate and help me do more things, more cool stuff, and all of that. That is all, people. Have a great week. Enjoy your show. Go watch Phantom Thread. Let me know what you think about it. It was underwhelming, I guess. It was underwhelming. Looking back, I enjoy it more. Looking back, it's like thinking about it more. Looking back, like I think it was a good movie. I don't have a desire to. I kind of just want to hear what people's thoughts are on it at this point, and then I'm done with it. I'm on to the next one. But that's it, everybody. Have a great week. Enjoy your show. Peace out.
You did it, man. Let's hear it for Ray, everybody.